Welcome to Insights. I'm Eric. Let's have another discussion about the grain market. It seems like the grain market won't stop going up, and I'm sure people are contemplating throwing the towel in and jumping right in head first this week. Let's take a look at that relative to the evolution of the trade and see how it's managing the position and how we're following the visible hand. So let's open up the matrix. We'll focus on the three markets here: the major grains, corn, beans, and wheat. They're both up, profitable, 4 6 months across the board, decent returns from 10 to 30%. The evolution of the trade follows three trends simultaneously. It looks for alignment across the three time frames, and actually it's most concerned about following the primary trend. The primary trends are all up. That's why these counts are in this column right here. And when they go down, they'll be knocked down into this column. But for now, the primary trend has been up, which means our core positions are long. Wheat has reset 4 days ago, but the rest of them are fairly well extended. The daily trend in corn and soybeans are almost 4 standard deviations, and the time cycles are pushing near 6 and 3 and 6, which is unbelievably extended. These are really long impulses. So the question is do you just throw the towel in and chase away here? I wouldn't advise doing that. There's plenty of opportunities to buy in. There'll be another reset. Wait until these cycles flip down. At least the daily comes off and resets. You need to reset this time cycle, and these price cycles are awfully aggressive. If one has to be into a market, wheat is the best option. It's been the best option. It's somewhat the laggard, but it has the best time cycles or price cycles and time cycles. The weekly cycles are extended nearly across the board, not so much for corn, but wheat is pushing too. So it was a tough one to chase 4 days ago. Some people might have done that, others might have chosen to pass. Ultimately, whether or not these three major grain markets are going to pull down and reset on the daily and possibly on the weekly depends on energy. And let's take a quick look at that, and we'll see how energy transpired this week. Again, if anything major pops up, we're going to talk about it specifically with subscribers. This is just a general discussion so people can keep abreast of the evolution of the trade and how the computer handles these positions. This is the energy build for corn, soybeans, and wheat. It's called the composite grain DI. And as the prices rallied here, the DIs have dropped significantly below 0.4 and 0.6. They bounced up a little bit from them, but in general, the computer is highlighting a bearish build and puts these red domes over them. Many times the red domes tend to be, they're blocking domes. A strong rally can power through them, and that's what we have to be careful with here. You can put all these roadblocks in and price can continue to go, but if the blocking domes continue to come one after another, eventually it threw the price into a correction. Another one came and it sent it down. So when you see these blocking domes come, it's difficult to progress price forward. It usually favors a correction, and it usually favors a sell-off because the grain markets are fairly volatile. So it's something that I would keep in mind. You're essentially pushing on a string against the energy builds, and these energy builds have been fairly bearish for a while. They are coming off the mat here. They used to be much lower than this, so they are drifting higher, which means that some of the cost building action that we've seen since the high has worked off some of this energy. If these daily trends would reset and the energy builds would push off the lower bound and push higher, and we'll take a look back, if they would push off this lower bound, push higher, push above the zero line, and push up in here, the trend has a real chance of acceleration. That's the reset we're going to be waiting for. When you get a reset that comes after the price and time cycles have flipped, and then the trend has calmed down and these numbers get reset themselves, and you have an energy build that precedes it, a favorable one or a bullish one. The composite trend, which includes the primary trend, the composite trends, a measure of all three. It's an alignment of the daily, weekly, and monthly. The composite trend has a very high probability of organizing after that event. a large energy build or a bullish energy build, and then a reset, the composite trend could really organize, and that usually means acceleration. So these are things that subscribers should be watching going forward, whether it be this week and the coming weeks. Keep an eye on all these things. I want you to watch the energy builds. I want you to watch to see if these things finally get reset. Some are going to chase, others are going to say, well, I'm not really interested in it because I've got these core positions. Everyone that bought the flip back in 2020, and here's the dates of where all the flips took place, you're sitting on fairly large profits, so you're not really worried about whether or not you want to get in. It's an escalation is different than buying the flip. A flip is a much bigger position than a reset, which is an escalation of the core position. If you have any questions about the grain markets or what's going on here inside the matrix or anything that we talked about here, contact me directly through the blog. There's some links below, and you can follow those links, and you can bring us back into the social media or the blog or anything, and you can contact me there, or you can leave some comments on below the video. If you have any interest in any of these markets and you don't subscribe to the matrix and you don't really watch these videos too regularly, please subscribe to the channel so we can put some more content up here that you can hopefully benefit from. If not, thanks for watching and enjoy the trading week.